What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another cover of Duran Duran. Once again, I wanted to give a shout out to Izzy sharing this album with me, and I've finally started to go through it. But we are up to the point in the album now where I basically don't know any more of the groups that are covering the songs. So at this point, it'll be less a familiar experience, at least sonically. Again, I wasn't aware of any of these covers, but a few of the bands I do have some experience listening to. So once I saw the track list, I had an expectation on some level for what these different songs would sound like. But again, we're now to the point where I don't know any more of the groups. So I will comment that the phrase Bjorn Again is very funny. It's a very clever band name. Obviously, they were around in 1997. I'm not aware if they're still around now, or if they've had different phases, different members maybe. A lot of the punk groups that I've reacted to in this particular sort of album run, or like tribute album reaction playlist, ultimately I am aware that several of them have had like changing lineups over the years. So if anyone knows anything about Bjorn Again, do let me know. Again, as I've begun to do more and more reactions of music and artists I'm not familiar with, I've learned, it's better to let people who've listened to these groups for a long period of time, or at least, have some experience with who they are and what they're about, explain to me, rather than trying to search around online and perhaps find dubious information. So ultimately, yeah, do let me know if you're aware of Bjorn Again and their sort of discography, or the character of their music. But ultimately, I have no idea what to expect. This is the second time that we're going to listen to a tune from this album covering or not the second time, but this is the second time we're going to listen to Girls on Film, a cover of Girls on Film. Which is interesting. Oftentimes I think cover albums, they try to do, no repeats, but I'm intrigued by the idea of having a couple different versions of one of their more famous tunes. So let's get it. This is Bjorn Again. It's a cover of Duran Duran's tune Girls on Film, and it's from a 1997 tribute album. Sounds dance oriented. Oh. Hello.
See them walking hand in hand across the bridge at midnight. Heads turning as the lights flashing out are so bright. And walk right up to the ball and track as a camera rolling on her back.
I like her delivery. Feels like dance pop, like.
Lipstick cherry all over the lens as she's falling. And miles of sharp blue water coming in where she lies. Behaving man's coming up for her.
I really like her delivery. She's got a good voice.
She wonders how she ever got here as she goes under again.
The growling bass.
Girls on film, 2 minutes later. Girls on film. Girls on film, country preacher. Girls on film.
This is really interesting, in part because it's so different from what I've heard on the album so far.
Why do babies smile and you just made a million? Fuses pumping like heat, twisting out on the wire. Take one last glance into the night, untouching close and holding tight.
fascinating. I didn't know what to expect, but this sort of kind of dancey dream pop sort of feel is not what I expected, which I like. I like being surprised. But yeah, in a way, it's a more, let's say, serious cover than the Wesley Willis Fiasco. Again, if you saw my introduction to that group, you realize, it's complicated to say that that's like a non-sincere cover. It's just a sort of like unique group with a unique singer that, I think needs a little context. Nevertheless, this is like sonically a more straightforward version, vocally certainly, and ultimately in a way it's closer to the sonics of the original tune, which is funny because someone commented on the Wesley Willis Fiasco that like if Andy had his way, maybe tracks would have sounded like that, which I found to be funny. Nevertheless, yeah, it's a cool tune, and it's interesting to me because now I'm a bit more uncertain. I thought it would maybe be rock oriented on some level, even if it was like pop rock and less like ska or punk. I wondered if maybe it would have like a heavier like rock vibe. Again, Deftones, I don't really know their work, but not only was their cover of The Chauffeur awesome, but ultimately, I sort of looked into it a little bit and found out that there's sort of this like artistic kind of metal band, so I thought maybe it'd be heavier rock, but yeah, now all bets are off for the remaining tunes. So in any case, let me know if you're familiar with Bjorn Again, let me know what you think about this cover, and yeah, just a really cool album that, I wasn't following Duran super closely. I had like reconnected with them by this point. Again, the wedding album hits, Ordinary World and Come Undone, I definitely remember being played and I was like, damn, like this is really good, they're still around. But I never knew that some of the bands that I was listening to like at that same time were actually covering some of their tracks in the mid-90s. So yeah, an interesting quirk that I'm now trying to catch up on. Do let me know what you think of this version. I will see you next time. Peace.